Hello, everybody. Are you there? Can you hear me? How's the audio levels? Let's have a look who we've got. I'm trying a slightly different setup today. I've got the mic here and very, very, very loud. It's very hot in here tonight.
Hello,
I've got extra
everybody.
lighting.
Are you there?
All sorts of
Can
stuff
you
going
hear
on.
me?
You should be
How's
seeing
the
me
audio
live.
levels?
Yes,
have a look
Violet
who we've
confirms
got.
from the production suite, or as I like to call it, the city, the
mic
other side of the
here.
living room.
Very, very,
And I can see we have a few people in the house. We have Yolanda's, am I saying your name right? Servia. Yolanda Servia. Hello, Yo. Yes, Violet confirms from the
kill the
production
audio
suite, or as I like to call it, the city, the other
still in.
side of the
Here.
living
There we
room. And we've got John Coombs. Good evening, John
We have
Coombs.
Yolanda's.
Robert Jennings. Good evening, Robert
Servia.
Jennings.
Yolanda Servia.
Pete Cole. Pete. Good evening, Pete Cole. James Ramsden. Hello. I like it that you're all saying hello to Violet as well. That's super brilliant. Anne Ashmore, Anne, you're always there. I love that. Thank you for joining us. Robert Jennings, loud and clear. That's very good. I've worked hard on the audio today. I've got the microphone poking into frame slightly there. If I could just edge it out of frame professionally. What is? Ashmore, Anne, you're always there. There's a feedback loop going on. Okay, if I mute. Robert Jennings, loud and clear. Has the feedback loop gone now? Today. The microphone poking into frame slightly there. If I could just edge it out of frame professionally. What is? There's a feedback loop going on. Okay, if I mute. Robert Jennings, loud and clear. Has the feedback loop gone now? Today. The microphone poking into frame slightly there. If I could just edge it out of frame professionally. What is? There's a feedback loop going on. Okay, if I mute. Robert Jennings, loud and clear. Has the feedback loop gone now? Today. The microphone poking into frame slightly there. If I could just edge it out of frame professionally. What is? There's a feedback. Oh, now you can hear my voice. There, that should have fixed it. I'm waiting because it takes about 30 seconds to percolate through to the output on here to check that it's actually happening. You can hear my voice. Audio, it should be back. Bear with me. Should have fixed it. Oh, I'm monitoring my own channel here. That's where it's coming from. That's where the audio trouble is coming from. I had my channel open there. Sorry, I shouldn't have had my channel open. I'm very sorry about that. God, look at this. I'm sweating. 2 minutes into the broadcast, I'm sweating. I haven't even had a chance to get myself a glass of Penderyn. But let's see, the roll call. We were maintaining the vocal. We've got VB, we've got No, all sorted now. Yes, sorry about the technical hitch there, people. That was because I'm monitoring on the same computer that I was broadcasting from, and I forgot. I'm sorry. But for the first time ever, I think, in the history of Gareth Jones Live, we've managed to go live to the correct channel instead of having to restart it. So I think that's worthy of a small round of applause. Now, what have we got in store for you tonight? A number of things, actually. We have a special guest. We have a world... sorry, that distorted then. A world exclusive. No, I'm serious. A world exclusive of a song with a video. Yeah, the song's been played before. It's an original song that I wrote, but the video is something that I went to enormous lengths to prepare this week. You can't actually see. Maybe I can show you. Maybe I can show you. Take the headphones off. I'll show you. But look at this. Behind me here. Oops, be careful knocking things over. Can you see that is a fold away green screen cloth? I've turned my living room into a green screen studio, and it's the first time I've ever done green screen at home, and I think it worked. I think it worked well enough for the video. Hang on, try the other glasses. Oh, it's better. That's better. Slightly less sweaty. Where's my makeup department? Oh, that's me. And we got a selection of songs. So who else is joining you? Gary Catterall, I can see that you're ahead of the rest of the crowd here from your guess. Sorry, V, our living room. Did I say my living room? Sorry, our living room. Colloquialisms. Rocking Kitten. That's Marijke, is that your name? Tintin. One of our Dutch friends is here. And we appear to be missing another Dutch viewer tonight. I'm not sure. Philip Rosbach. Hello, Philip. You're a new name. I don't recognise your name. You're very, very welcome to our funny little greeting this evening. I'm hoping... What's this?
Either drink it or put it up against you. You look very hot.
Can I have a glass of my Penderyn? And a glass of Penderyn, have I got to go and get it?
I'll get you.
All right, thank you. Right, I'll have a slurp of this in the meantime. Yes, you can't broadcast without Penderyn. Actually, I got contacted by Penderyn this week because I'd mentioned on Twitter that they were making hand sanitizer, and they got in touch to say, "Oh, Gareth, don't worry, we've got plenty of whiskey." Penderyn, the Welsh whiskey company, and I thought, should I send them links to me mentioning Penderyn on the show? See if I get a free bottle. Why not? It's worth a shot, and it'd be very useful. Yes, I'm a cretin. I'm reading the. I tell you what, I should see what's going on Facebook as well, because I know that some of you watch on the official Gareth Guest Jones Facebook page, and you're probably making comments there. So let me see if I can open that page. The internet is very slow today. I'm having real trouble getting this to load. Stand by. There we go. Let's go there. It's not always me. People often write to me on the Gareth Gaztop Jones webpage, and it's not always me that runs it. I do occasionally do it, like when I'm doing this, but normally it's Jessica Morris who works for us. And so if you want to get hold of me, email me via Gareth Jones TV. That's the best way. Oh, here we go. Kerry Roberts, Cofion Gorau or Coed Dion from Blackwood. Diolch, Kerry Roberts. Nice to see you. Kerry, there's a song in the show today which you will be one of the few people who will actually probably have heard it before and will understand the lyrics. Rachel, there we are. Rachel Knoll, you're messaging on Facebook. I'm so glad you're there, Rachel. Yvonne Grosvenor. That's a new name. Hello, Yvonne Grosvenor. My sister's middle name is Yvonne. Steve Summers has joined us from Newcastle, which means Carol is here as well. Hello. Something special for you guys later on. Oh, hang on, I've knocked me spit catcher off me mic. Where's it gone? Where's me spit catcher gone? There it is. Got to put your pop filter back on, because this mic is prone to popping. And that does help a little bit. Well, it's a windshield, really. Who else have we got here? I haven't said hello to yet. Paul Walsh. Good evening from the Wirral. Love the Wirral. Violet and I were talking about how you refer to places earlier on this evening. And we were talking about someone that she works with she comes from on Anglesey, she said. I said, correct. It's like you're on the Wirral. Not in the Wirral, you're on the Wirral. Anglesey is an island, so you're on it. It's like on the Isle of Wight, on the Isle of Man, on the Wirral. The Wirral isn't an island, it's a peninsula. And I grew up, I wonder, should we try something? I've just had an idea. This is often complicated and dangerous, but let me see if I can do this. I've got a bit of video which might help explain what I'm talking about here, if I can, in the broadcast archive of all movies. The broadcast archive, yes. A Glanai. Oh, here we go. A couple of years ago, I made a sort of a taster, not quite a pilot, for a programme for S Pedwar Ek, Channel 4 Wales, S channel Pedwar 4 Ek C. And if I go to this mode here, there you go, you can see it. The programme is called A Glanai, the banks of the River Dee. And I grew up in a town called Holywell. Here is Holywell, a hilltop hamlet. Somebody once described it. And if you look really, 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 really closely, you can actually see the house I grew up in right there, which overlooks the River Dee here, which is the Dee estuary, and there is the Wirral. So I grew up with a view of Merseyside, which is perhaps one of the reasons I sound a bit scouse, as we tend to in Holywell. Would you like to see a bit of this programme? Shall I show you a bit of this programme? Why not? Let's run it. It hasn't happened as a programme yet, but I think it's worth seeing. Here we go. How many of you know this place? Holywell High Street. In other words, home.
Gareth Jones to eat.
I'm Gareth Jones, one of the boys from the northeast, and during this series, I'm going to take you for a walk. Around the area. This is on Pennable Hill. But where exactly are we? Now the A55 is behind you. Caedwys is there. Holkin's there. Down to the west, you've got Flint and Chester, and to the west, that was east. You've got Rill, and behind Holywell you can see the River Dee and the Wirral, and behind the Wirral, if it's clear, you can see Liverpool. Holywell's changed a lot since I was here. Where there's a bus stop now, there was a shop, my dad's shop. There it is. If it wasn't for that shop, I wouldn't be able to speak Welsh. My mother and father were debating in the shop one day what school I should go to. And Meredith Edwards, a well-known Welsh actor, came into the shop to pick up a radio that my dad was repairing for him. And Meredith heard this debate going on and said to me, Gareth, in Welsh, what school do you want to go to? A Welsh school or an English school? And I answered in Welsh, a Welsh school, please. And Meredith turned to my father and said, Dyna chi, there's your answer. The King's Head Hotel. In about 1980, I was playing bass in a band called The Grids. This is not them, by the way. And we put out one record on King's Head Records. Thank you, the King's Head. And it's now a museum. It started my career, you might say, and it's now a community museum. Oh, now this is the well that gives Holywell, where I'm from, its name, the Holy Well. It's the hang on, Sanctaidd. What's the Holy Well of Gwenfryd? Here we go. Hang on. So the story goes, back in the 6th century, there was a girl by the name of Gwenfryd who was being chased by a guy called Craddock. Now, Craddock had taken a shine to her and attempted to rape her, actually. And Winifred turned him down, of course, and ran away. And he caught up with her, and he cut her head off as she arrived at the door of a church. And her head rolled down the hill and stopped at that point. And where it stopped, water sprung up from the ground. It was a message from God, they say. And people from all over the world came there to Holywell to wash, to bathe in the water to make them better. Like a pilgrimage. They call it the Lords of Wales. And they reckon it'll cure any ailment, and I've got a bit of arthritis in my toes. In my right foot, big toe, and I've never actually immersed myself in Winifred's holy water. So I thought I would take this opportunity to do it, and it was cold. And it's better already. Right, that's Holywell. It goes on. Do you like the Ford Focus RS, by the way? Not mine. That was on loan from the Ford Motor Company. I was reviewing it for Gareth Jones on Speed, my car podcast, which made me very happy. I love Fords and I love fast Fords because Elvin Evans, I haven't got my model of Elvin Evans's rally Fiesta here. He drives a rally Fiesta and he's my hero. Actually, he doesn't drive a Fiat Ford anymore. He's just left Ford. But he's gone to Toyota, and Toyota, you could call them Welsh company because they manufacture engines for their cars in Deeside, on the banks of the River Dee, just up the road from where I'm from. So I've been a big Ford man all my life. I've owned a Lexus, a Toyota, for 20 years. So my allegiance stays with Elvin. I've moved from Ford to Toyota. Right, here we go. How was the Sim-Tran? Did it make sense? Were you able to hear it? Let's have a look. Oh, Michael Cumming is with us. Michael, hello. I've got Aber Falls, small batch gin from Abergwyn Gregin, Welsh Wales. How do you like them Cymru junipers, sir? Abergwyn Gregin. Carol and Steve, you know Abergwyn Gregin very well, and I'm sure Kerry does as well. Another message. Dave Carroll over on Facebook. Hold on. I'm not the same as I was before. I'm not innocent anymore. 40 points to Dave Carroll, who's just quoted the lyrics to the Grids song, Innocent No More, which was the single that we released on King's Head Records, which I believe is on YouTube somewhere. Well done. That's immensely obscurist. Ellie Hughes. Big heart for Holywell. Holywell, my hometown. Tre Ffynnon, we call it Welsh, the town of the well. Now, here's a controversial thing about Holywell I was discussing with my brother recently. And that the name of the town, Holywell, might not be what we purport it to be. Because, we say Holywell, where we come from, Holywell. But posh people say Holywell because it is the town of the Holy Well. But why do Holywellians say Holywell? Well, maybe it's because the part of Holywell where Winifred Gwenfryd's Holy Well is called Bryn Celyn, which means the hill. Excuse me. Coca-Cola, it's not as good as Penderyn, which means the hill where the holly bushes grow. Celyn is a Welsh word for holly. So maybe the reason it's Holywell is for that reason, and that the Catholic Church hijacked the name of the town. No, the Holy Well, with this crazy story about the water. But there is an element of science or truth behind the quality of the water in Holywell, because Holywell is surrounded by a number of things. A limestone, a great carboniferous limestone crag, the hills overlooking Holywell, Brimford, Holkham. It's all carboniferous limestone, which is very good for filtering water. So any water that's filtered through that will be pure and safe to drink. Plus, the Romans mined tin and lead around Holywell. Now, if you pass water over lead and drink that water, if the water's soaked in the lead, it's going to make you ill and kill you. So I'm sure there are sources of water in Holywell which would have been poisonous a long time ago. But the church was smart and they said, no, we know this particular water is safe to drink. So if you drink this water, we'll give it the stamp of authority of the church. The church was kind of like the British standard for things, wasn't it? Or the world standard in those days. No, it's okay, drink this, it's blessed. It'll make you better. Oh, really? Oh, I wonder if it'll cure me arthritis. So maybe there's some truth in that. But there's also a great... Shouldn't laugh. But Catholics came from all over, not just Catholics, but the, what do we call them? The devout, came from all over the world to bathe in the waters of Holywell. And during, I think, Edwardian times, people were coming and bathing in the water. Instead of going away cured of their ills, they were getting ill. Some people even died. And the reason for this was it was discovered that a Victorian drain, a sewer, was leaking into the water and putting, I don't know, streptococcus and all kinds of awful stuff in there, which made people very ill, and probably other stuff as well. Don't think they had COVID. When would that have been? Edwardian times. COVID-19. That's 1819. And that was Victorian times, wasn't it? It would have been 1919. Yeah, so early COVID-19, a generation ago. And yeah, so people are coming to get cured in Holywell. I just realised I'm wearing this shirt. And going away not as well as they should have done. Shame that. Right, let's have a read of your messages. Llewellyn's home. Yes, Llewellyn Fawkes, my Tide, my grandfather. A man so funny he could make a cat smile, they say. Just over the hill, that's right. Windy Pop say, yes, it is a bit windy. I lived at the top of Panamice, the top of the hill, in a house that my dad designed and built himself. And he's an extraordinary man. And right at the top of the hill, it was particularly windy. I could fly a kite from my garden, which I regularly did. And there was a windmill halfway down the hill, which, do you want to see a bit of video? I wonder if I can find it. It might. I don't know if it's in the home produced archive. If it's in there, I can show you. Where is it? Okay, this isn't the clip I was going to show you, but I'm going to show you anyway. This is my dad when I was born, when I was 1 year old in 1962. I turned up in 1961, and I already had a big brother and two older sisters, and the house is full. Dad rented a bit of land next to the house that we grew in. It was undeveloped in those days, and Dad decided to buy that land and build a house. Drew some plans, took it to an architect and said, can you turn these plans, these drawings into plans to build a house? He said, no, Ken. What do you mean no? He said, well, I don't have to. You've actually done enough here that we could build a house. So they dug some trenches with my dad's plans. Is that my dad? No, that's not my dad. But there they are, digging the trenches for the foundations for the house that I grew up in. This is the view of the Wirral, of course. I'm sorry it's slightly shaky cam, but it was shot on a clockwork standard 8 camera and transferred using a homemade telecine device. And that's Dad, I think. Can't see it, slightly out of... No, it isn't. That's not. That's the chap who helped him. I can't remember because I wasn't born. I was only 1 year old. So, yeah, modern bricks, laid the foundations, built a flipping house. How cool is that? And my brother, there's John, my big brother, John Bryn Jones. I don't know if you're with me, John, watching right now. But I forgot to send John a link tonight. Maybe I should send him one there. And look at that, Hillman Husky. That's the car. And up goes the house. Look how modern it was in 1961. Massive windows, light-coloured bricks, and that incredible view of Mersey lights shining in the distance. Oh, someone already has. And we live next door to a pub. The house is still there. There I am. about 18 months old. My sister Mel, forgive me. She doesn't like to be called Meriel anymore. It's Mel. And I've only just learned to walk, and I'm off to inspect the house that I'm going to grow up in. There you go. So yeah, there you go. You mentioned the Wirral, and I went into it. What else we got on here? My sister Caris and her doll Trudy. John in his Sunday best. And the music, by the way, by Steve Allen Jones. Yeah. There's my dad. The Ford Anglia van. The shop that he owned. at that, the shake of the wheelbarrow there to even up the concrete in the wheelbarrow. Look at the skill of this guy slicing these breeze blocks or these grey blocks and putting them in. 2 hits with the trowel. Look at that, 3 or 4 perhaps. Takes the edge off, takes the very corner off. All done manually and popped up. Isn't that fantastic? There's such messages coming in, excuse me. Anyway, amazing stuff. The house I grew up in North Wales. Wow. Wow, wrong button. I got there eventually. In Holywell. Okay, a bit of music, I think. I'll have a song, and then Violet will bring me, if I ask nicely, a glass and some Penderyn. I need to anaesthetise my throat, otherwise I'm going to be burping all the way through the song. We'll have... is that in tune? Right. I'm going to stay with the Welsh theme, because I'm wearing a Welsh shirt. I'm going to play a song by... Violet telling me off for boozy when I'm broadcasting, quite right too. I'm going to play a song by one of my favourite artists ever. I can't tell you how much I love this man's work. He's a Welsh folk singer called Gwilym Bowen Rhys, from a little bit further west than I'm from, in North Wales, from the Llyn Peninsula. And he's got the most incredible, huge voice and a delicate sense... Thank you, Dylan. A delicate sense of... The booze has arrived. A delicate sense of lyric and Welshness. Now, I'm going to play you the song in Welsh first, or attempt the first verse in Welsh, and then I'll play you a translation of the song that I've done, because only some of you will understand this song. Should explain that it's called Clychair Gog, which is the Welsh word for bluebells. We call them cuckoo bells. The song is about being on the edge of a sea of bluebells and falling in love. I adore this song. I'm going to get a Coca-Cola hit. Roedd y haul yn teiddi'n boddi'n hawdd, a llwybr gwyrddlas yn ein gwaed, a fy glywsom glychau mwy o'n mai, yn galw arna ni'n dau. Mi roedd hi yn wanwyn o hi gyd, a'i sgwrs yn hyfryd ganddi hi, a ches I deimlad fel ches erioed, fel tan yn rhio dan lyngroed. Ar dan o fy menyn draed, a'i gwen ymgyflymu'r gwaed, ar fi'n môl o glychau'r gog. I love that song, and when I tell you the lyrics, this is an approximate translation. I've tweaked it slightly to make things scan and rhyme, but you'll get the sense of the song is exactly the same. Equally beautiful. The sunset summer with its lighting, and the blue-green path was us inviting. We heard the gentle bells of May calling us both on that day. She was the very essence of the spring. In conversation I heard her sing, feeling like I'd not felt before. burning deep within my core. A fire burned from head to foot, a smile quickening the blood. My heart rose as the ocean swelled on the edge of the sea of bluebells. My heart rose as the ocean swelled on the edge of the sea of bluebells. That's fantastic, isn't it, that song? I didn't do it justice. You hear Gwilym Bowen Rees sing it with his huge, magnificent voice, and if it doesn't move you to tears in any language... I remember being in my favourite pub, the Old Shillelagh, an Irish pub in London, and I met a Japanese woman and a Spanish woman who were both big fans of Super Furry Animals. Got into this conversation about being Welsh, and because of Super Furry Animals, and they love it when Super Furry sing in Welsh, the song Moon, they love the album Moon. I said, oh, you've got to hear this guy, Gwilym Bowen Rees, and I played them that song on my phone, and I did a sim-tran, and he sang the song and I translated the lines as I went, and we got to the end of the song and I turned around and the two of them are absolutely tears rolling from their eyes. Diolch yn fawr iawn, Gwilym Bowen Rees. Look it up. Clychair Gog. Look anything. I'll spell it for you if you don't speak Welsh. Write this down. Clychau apostrophe R. Clychair Gog. G-O-G. Just put Gwilym Bowen Rees Gog and you'll find it. Amazing song. Utterly amazing song. Actually, okay, I'm going to read what you're saying. He's no Max Boyce, but he's okay. You're talking about me or Gwilym Bowen Rees? Probably me. Thank you for the applause. That's very kind of you to say that. And Steve Summers, who knows very well, seriously, Gwilym Bowen Rees is a man with a huge soul. That's absolutely right, Steve. An enormous heart and soul. And I was at the British Folk Awards. I like folk music, and a friend of mine is a folk musician. So we went to British Folk Awards in... hello, Anna Esselmans, by the way, if you're watching, and Alex, if you're with us. I went to the Folk Awards, and I was wandering around backstage, and I heard two people speaking Welsh, and I just turned around and said, yn Gymraeg, in Welsh, byddwn ofalus beth sy'n deud Becky, mae'n mwy na un person yma sy'n deall yr iaith. Be careful what you say, guys. There's more than one person here who speaks Welsh. Oh, Gareth, they said. Hello. Hello. Oh, we're here making a programme for Radio Cymru. Will you come and be on this after the show? Yeah, okay, I said. Oh, why are you here? So, well, my friend Anna Esselmont is playing, and I discovered that Gwilym Bowen Rees is playing. I'm a huge fan. I wanted to come and support him. He's nominated. He wasn't playing, but he was nominated for an award. And after the show, I went into the little mini studio that they'd set up, like a broom cupboard there. And Gwilym Bowen Rees was in there, and I'm sat with Gwilym Bowen Rees, and they asked me on the radio, Gareth, what do you think of Welsh folk music? I said, I love it! Not only do I love this man, in fact, I love this man so much, Gwilym Bowen Rees, I want to be this man. It's true, I want to be Gwilym Bowen Rees. Respect. Please buy Gwilym Bowen Rees' records. They're available. He's got his own website, and they're tremendous. I think it's probably time for a shot of some Welsh whiskey, Penderyn, and this is Legend tonight, rather than Aur, which is the other one. And there's a third one, isn't there? There's a whole selection of them, isn't there? Yeah, they're all good. All very good. Other whiskies are available. Cheers. John Jones is there. John Bryn, my brother. You heard that and you're here. You saw yourself on video. John, that was you. 56 years ago. Shoveling aggregate into a cement mixer to build a house that I grew up in and you lived in for 18 years of your life. How fantastic is that? And Paula Gregory, my niece, who'll know all about that story because her mother grew up in that house with me, Meryl. Robert Jennings, to my eternal shame, I've never set foot in Wales. Where would you recommend for a young family to visit on holiday once this madness has finished? Well, you might want to stop by in Holywell and go and have a look at the Holywell. You might want to, you will want to go to Snowdonia, go to Llanberis, go to Betws-y-Coed, go to the Conwy Valley, go and have a look at the Sychnant Pass. Oh. Carol and Steve have a house there. I am so envious of them being able to walk out and see that incredible cleavage through Welsh mountains. It's fantastic. I can't tell you how gorgeous the Sychnant Pass is. Where else do you want to go? Go to Rhyl. Rhyl's amazing. Don't go to Rhyl. No, go to Rhyl. Rhyl. No. Poor old Rhyl. Go to Llandudno. Llandudno is fantastic. We love Llandudno, darling, don't we? It's gorgeous. Up the Great Orme, Gareth, the Victorian seafront at Llandudno. Just about anywhere within 10 miles of the coast is spectacular. Other locations are available. I'm quite fond of Ireland. Quite fond of the west coast of Scotland as well. We used to go to Arasaig up there. And it reminded me of Ynysmore, Anglesey. White sandy beaches, palm trees. I'm not joking. It's because it's on the Gulf Stream, you see. The Gulf Stream washes warm water up from South America, comes up from the east of South America up to the west coast of Britain and washes. That's why Britain isn't frozen like Scandinavia and Ireland too. We should be frozen here. We're on the same latitude as Denmark, Norway, Sweden practically. But we're temperate, and it's because of that warm current blowing up from South America, of warm current of wet water, warm water. Llandudno, the Orme, says Paula Gregory. Correct. Aberdaron. Yeah, great. Anywhere. Hello, Adam Bagley. Hello, Gareth. This is my first time here. Are there any Gilbert the Alien fans here? I think everybody here is a Gilbert the Alien fan. Everybody. Carol Summers is feeling hiraeth. Hiraeth, what a word. Hiraeth is an amazing word. It doesn't have a single word translation in English. It means a longing and a sense of belonging for something which is probably better than the thing that you're longing for, ultimately. Hiraeth. Welsh people tend to feel hiraeth when they're expatriates, like me. I tend to overcompensate. My house is red, white and green. I'm probably more Welsh here than I would be if I'd stayed in Wales. My gosh, it's 20 to 10. Okay, let's move on. We've talked a lot about Wales. Let's move on to the next aspect of the show. We'll probably come back to the theme of Wales. Try and stop me. But I've got another song like I promised I'd play for a very special day that it is today. Where is it? Here we go. Stand by. It's a song that you'll know the melody for, but these are updated lyrics, especially for May Day. Today, May Day. A big day for international socialists like me. Okay. The cloth cap and the working class as images are dated, for we are workers avant-garde and we've been educated. We'll reform the country bit by bit so nobody will notice it, and just to show we're still sincere, we'll keep the red flag flying here. Which leads me, happy May Day everybody, by the way. Happy May Day. I don't just wear this because I'm a Clash fan or an Alarm fan. I believe in the Republic of Great Britain and the Republic of Wales, and I believe in international socialism. But I'm sure you've not come here for politics. But there's also another reason why I'm wearing this red star on my hat today, to celebrate. I've got a special song for you, which is going to take a bit of setting up. As you know, I'm a big fan of spaceflight, manned spaceflight, or human-tended spaceflight, as we say, but also robotic and satellites and probes and all that kind of thing. I'm not explaining myself very well, am I? You know that I've met some rather glorious space people. I've shown you this before, but I've never shown you this version of this picture before. Here we go. It is that one. There we go. There I am with Buzz Aldrin, marvelling at my extendable neck. People always say, wind your neck in, Gaz. Wind your neck in. Well, there I am, winding it out and winding it in. Actually, I did that for my website, because there's a thing on my website, Truth and Lies, and a whole section about lies about me. And one is that my neck can extend up to 2 meters when necessary. And I thought I'd animate it this week just for a laugh. So there we go. So you know I like the American space program, but I'm also a huge fan of other space programs as well, such as, where is it? There. This guy. There he is. You'll know who that is. But this guy, that's Colonel Alexei Leonov. And my darling partner, Violet Berlin, did a wonderful thing for me. What year was this, V? Do we know?
25th anniversary.
25th? Was it the 25th anniversary of the moon landing? 25 years ago? Really? Yeah. Wow. 26 years ago. Was that really? 30th anniversary, that sounds right. Yeah, 30th anniversary. Violet was making a programme for Channel 4 about the moon landing. And Alexei Leonov was a guest on the show, and Violet was invited to have lunch with Alexei and said, you probably want to come and see this yourself as well. And too right, she did. So I went to see Alexei Leonov and had lunch with him. Now, Alexei, you may or may not know, was the first man to walk in space. He got out of his Voskhod capsule, I believe, and floated around in space, then struggled to get back in. Although some new information about that, you know, it was said that he nearly died. There he is. There's Alexei, right there. There he is on my wall. In fact, this is an amazing picture, because if you look, you can actually see his face inside the visor. There he is, the first man to walk in space. And it was said that he nearly died trying to get back in. He had to depressurise his suit. But recently, Alexei said, actually, no, we made a bit of a meal of that, really, that I'd always been aware that I could slightly depressurise my suit if I was struggling to get back in. And it was all fairly routine, but people have made a lot of it over the years, and I haven't stopped them. It's a shocking bit of information. That's amazing. But okay, I'm leading towards something here. I'm going to play you a bit of a video. As you know, every year on April the 12th, there's an event called Alexei's Night. Sorry, I'll say that again. Called Yuri's Night, which celebrates the very first successful flight, I'll come back to that in a minute, and return to Earth by a human, which was Yuri Gagarin aboard Vostok 1 on April 12th, 1961, just about, 12 weeks before I was born. And to celebrate Yuri's Night, I was asked to shoot a little video, which I did, and I shot it at the Science Museum at an exhibition called Cosmonauts, which celebrated the Soviet space program. And it starts off, this little piece, with a picture of one of my favourite pieces of space technology ever, a Russian robot rover called Lunokhod from the 1970s. Oh, hang on, I haven't hit the right button, have I? Stand by. Hang on. There it is. Let's have that again, shall we? Imagine I introduced it and I said Lunokhod. We can thank the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the USSR, for many things. They invented the space race. They put the first people in space, the first dogs in space, the first spacewalker, the first robot car on the moon. I never met Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space, but I did meet Alexei Leonov once. And he would have been the man to land that, the lunar cabin, the Soviet moon lander, on the moon's surface, if only the N1 moon rocket had worked and the Russians had got there before the Americans. I never, ever, ever thought I'd see that. That was secret for so many years, and it's wonderful to see it here at the exhibition Cosmonauts at the Science Museum in London, celebrating our greatest achievement. So, thank you, everybody in the American and Russian space programs. Because without their efforts, we wouldn't be able to do stuff like this today. We wouldn't have the great technological advance which led to microprocessors and data storage, which allows me to do things like this, record a bit of video on a tiny, tiny camera like this. But thank you, Yuri. Thank you, Alexei. Happy Yuri's Night.
Yes, happy Yuri's Night, which was April the 12th this year. Mark Taylor, who runs a marvellous podcast and website called TGP, TGP Nominal. And he does two. TGP is the garbage pod, and they do a space-themed version called TGP Nominal, which is all about space stuff, which I have contributed several times for over the years, and always happy to, because, you know, I'm a big space fan. When I'm not talking about Star Trek, I'm talking about space. But okay, the whole reason I'm telling you this is probably my favourite piece of space technology. Where is it? Here we go. I don't know, you might expect it to be the LEM, the Lunar Excursion Module, the LEM, the Lunar Lander. Eagle was the nickname of the first one to land on the moon. They had lots of other nicknames as well, the various lunar landers. You'd expect this to be my favourite bit of space technology. No. Well, your next guess might be... Oh, that's going to fall off there. Hold on. Your next guess might be that I like the lunar roving vehicle. The first car on the moon. Or was it the first car on the moon? Let's see. The lunar rover... V, perhaps you could check this fact for me. Could you find out the launch or landing date of Apollo 15, please? I think it was Apollo... There were three lunar rovers. Apollo 15, Apollo 16, and Apollo 17. 7th of August 1971. Well, in that case, that was not the first car on the moon. The first car on the moon was a robot vehicle, Lunokhod, which means moonwalker. The Russians, the Soviets, led by the Russians largely, had a program called Lunar, where they landed a number of probes on the lunar surface and orbited the moon in preparation for a Soviet moon landing. And they developed these lunar roving vehicles, robotic vehicles driven from Earth, to go and scout the lunar surface for possible landing places and for permanent Soviet bases on the moon. And they were incredible bits of technology, very sophisticated, and yet at the same time incredibly crude. When you look at them, they look like, I don't know, a bathtub on pram wheels. But this was an electrically driven car with hermetically sealed electric motors in each wheel that was driven on the lunar surface from Earth. Now, there is a 3/4 of a second delay. It takes radio, or travelling at the speed of light, 3/4 of a second to reach the moon from Earth. It's 238,000 miles. And so there was a man
on Earth, a Soviet engineer, driving this robot car around at about 1 kilometre per hour. And, you know, he would make an instruction, and about 3/4 of a second later, it would respond. Imagine how difficult it is working with that sort of latency, that sort of delay. And we're having to avoid rocks. But the two Lunokhods, Lunokhod ADM, which means Lunokhod 1, and Lunokhod 2, which means Lunokhod 2, drove around the moon. I think the first one, Lunokhod 1, drove around for about 3 months. And then the second one covered something like 20 or 30 miles driving around the moon, a record which wasn't broken until the Americans put more autonomous robot vehicles on Mars many, many years later. But they were way ahead of the game with this. So, I love Lunokhod. The two Lunokhods, I feel sad for them. They were abandoned on the moon when their batteries landed. I haven't answered the question. They landed the first one landed in 1970, the second one in 1973. So they got cars to the moon before the Americans. And I love these vehicles so much that I wrote a song about them for my car podcast, Gareth Jones on Speed. The song's called Lunokhod. It's recorded in the style of Kraftwerk, or in my case, Kraftwurst. And if I can find the file, I'll cue it up. Let's get it queued up for you, and then cut to it when we're ready. Stand by. So, telling the full story of the two Soviet lunar rovers, Lunokhod ADM and Lunokhod 2. This is Kraftwerk, Liechtenstein's premier electro act. You may recognise some of the members of the band performing Lunokhod.
exclusive club, and harder falls a moon, looking like a bathtub.
Sorry, you can hear me now, can't you? How much do you love Kraftwurst? I love them like they're a real thing. They're not me. They actually exist in an alternate reality as Liechtenstein's premier electro act. And I don't know if you noticed, but I gave every single member of the band a different personality. Now, these two, the one in the red shirt and the pink shirt, they're the two twins who formed the band in 1974 in my backstory. Werner and Gerhard Pretner, I think were the names that I gave them. Then they enlisted the help of the other two. And actually, I'm just going to mute the audio for a moment on this. No, that's the wrong one. If I mute that, I can play the song without you hearing the song. Is that right? No, it's playing, isn't it? If I mute it here. There we go. They've all got slightly different personalities. The guy in the white shirt, whose name I can't quite remember, he's a bit of a show-off. Look at him, he's all over the place. The one in the pink shirt, very, very somber, the most serious member of the band, the gifted one. And then the front man, and then the workman-like drummer, who's very tall. I shot them in slightly different heights. I moved the camera further away. I saw someone asking if I did a making of video. I didn't. I should have done, really. I don't know if you were here earlier on, but I shot it literally where I'm standing right now with that green, see that green bit of cloth that's rolled up on a bit of line there? I dropped that down, I lowered it down and stood in front of it and discovered how to do colour separation overlay for the first time. CSO, chroma key, green screen, call it what you like. And it's not perfect. Look, there's all sorts of shading and mismatches here and there, but I don't think it really matters. We got away with it. And Kraftwurst exist. I should point out that I've done a couple of songs in the style of Kraftwurst. I did this one on my own, but I did one with Zog, my partner on Gareth Jones on Speed, one of my partners on Gareth Jones on Speed, a song called Autobahn UK, which is about how German car companies own great British brands like Rolls-Royce and Bentley. And maybe I should shoot a video for that, but I kind of need to be able to drive places to do that, and I can't do that during lockdown. So yeah, maybe I'll shoot another video. I'm glad you like that one. It took me about 2 or 3 evenings, or 2 evenings to shoot, and 2 long days of editing and discovering how to match chroma key and make it work. I did it in Final Cut X on my little Mac laptop here, PowerBook, which I inherited from Violet. Thank you, Violet. And then did the graphics in Adobe Premiere Pro on my PC. So it's a multi-platform piece of technology. Let's have a look at... Whoops, wrong button. Sorry, guys. There we go. Let's have a look at what you guys are saying in the chat. Lunokhod, never forgotten now. Oh, that's lovely of you to say that, Mr. Ramsden. Because I think it's the saddest song I've ever written, because at the end the message is, Lunokhod, please respond, and you hear the voice, female voices I gave Lunokhod from the moon saying, please don't forget us. And in fact, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, I think in 2004, was orbiting the moon and took pictures from lunar orbit, because lunar orbit's really low. You can get down to within 10 miles of the moon's surface. It's not like Earth, where you've got a thick atmosphere and massive gravity. It's a little place with lower levels of gravity and no atmosphere to drag you down. So you can get fairly close and you can take pictures of the lunar surface. And they've got pictures of the tracks left by the 2 Lunokhod vehicles. And the top of Lunokhod opened up like that. You saw it opened up. And it was, I think there were solar panels there, and it was an aerial. And at night, because the lunar night is 28 days long, it all sealed up like that, and it had plutonium on board to keep it warm during the cold lunar nights. And they're on their own up there, those poor things. Ah, Georgina Royal, my second cousin down in Cornwall. Hello, George. Nice to see that you're here. Wearing Violet's high heels in the back shirt. I wasn't wearing Violet's high heels. Do you know why? Violet hasn't got any high heels. Have you, darling?
platforms, buffaloes with platforms, but no high heels. No, what I did was simply move the camera a bit closer and not shrink the image so much to make me look different scale. So I'm 4 different people. Anyway, there'll be more from them. Okay, gosh, it's after 10 o'clock. It's been a rapid show today. Let me ask you a question. What is it you like that I do here, we do on Gareth Jones Live? What would you like to see more of? What would you like to happen? What do you think we should not do on the show? Should I stop singing altogether? Got a great song to finish tonight with. I was going to do a Slade song. I noticed Dave Jewell. Violet's just gone. I've upset her somehow. Violet's Dave Jewell, great friend of mine, a Slade fan. KOR, Dave, 60th birthday the other day. Happy 60th, Dave Jewell. I was going to do a Slade song tonight. I was going to do a song from here. One of Don Powell's songs. Don Powell, the drummer in Slade, arguably the loveliest member of Slade, although they're all brilliant in different ways. Don wrote a book called Know Who You Are, explaining some of the lyrics that he helped write, or wrote in the case of very early Slade songs. And I was going to do One Way Hotel. Should I do One Way Hotel before the end song? Okay, because you guys, there's a bit of a delay and it takes a little while for me to get the answers from that question. What do you want to see more of on the Gareth Jones Live? So should we do a song for Dave Jewell as it's his birthday? Yeah, the trouble with this is halfway through the song I'm going to have to pause and scroll down to get the lyrics to the second half of the song. I've known this song since 1972, probably, and I know all the lyrics, but when you're broadcasting, it's nice to have them in front. Anyway, One Way Hotel, a song written by Don Powell, which originally was going to be about staying in a crazy hotel, but actually ended up being a song about being in an asylum. But I think there's something very appropriate about this song for lockdown and this pandemic that we're in at the moment. So that's why I chose it. It goes like this. They asked me to sleep on the floor. The people were running galore. They asked for the time to make a number of changes and I let them. I sat on my case in the hall. The window and ceiling look tall. How long does it take to make a number of changes when you let them? The case of another man was open and the contents were lying on the floor. I could tell by his face he's a man like myself, that's for sure. Bear with me. Boom, 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 boom. I was there for a fortnight or more. I thought that my boss knew the score. It makes you feel sick when you think of the tricks they get up to. The locks on the windows were made by yourself not to open. Come to think of it now that if I were a child, they'd be broken. And now spent a year behind this door. The doctors would see me no more. They asked me to sign with a pen on the line. I was done for. That's a dark song, isn't it? It's a dark song. One Way Hotel. Written by Slade. Written by all 4 of them, I think. But Don had a big part in writing the lyrics for that song. I love that song. I like to feature Slade songs on here that you may or may not know. B-sides. Often Slade's B-sides. Dave Jewell will agree with me that some of Slade's B-sides were unsung classics. Great songs. Slade in Flame behind me today. Wasn't going to play something from that. I just realised it was there. Dave Jewell, happy birthday. Penblwydd Hapus, a Slade fan who lives in Wales. He's ticking most of the boxes. If only he likes space stuff as well, which I'm sure he does. Robert Jennings, I enjoy the dig into the Gareth Jones archive. Okay, I can answer your questions now.
I enjoy the dig into the Gareth Jones archive. Perhaps we should see Violet on screen to say hi. I'd also like to hear more about your TV history and perhaps some behind-the-scenes chat. I haven't done any of that today. Okay, next week I'll do some behind-the-scenes stories. I will tell you the squid story. No, yes, the cuttlefish story from How To. I'll tell you that story. Next week, and I'll think of some others as well. Gary Catterall, more car stuff and space stuff. Well, thank you, will do. I'm never far from a car story. Maybe we should talk about. Okay, I'll think of a good car story for next week. What else have we got? Get Violet on camera. No, that's not going to happen. Violet's shy. Seriously, I'm not making this up. Violet is one of the shyest people I know. Genuinely shy. How she ever became a television presenter, I really don't know. But she did a bloody good job of it. How did she do that? You don't know either, do you? Maybe we'll see Violet's arm. She'll come and grace us with a wave of the hand or something at some point. John Coombs, loving craft verse. Thank you very much. Yeah, Space Whales, Slade. Yeah, okay, right. Adam Bagley. My dad, he says, fixed Noddy Holder's telly once. Roy Woods too. We had the franchise of all the West Midlands pop stars TVs repairing, did he? That's very good. My dad repaired the PA for Billy Smart's circus. They used to come to Rill, just down the road from Holywell where I grew up. And I remember Dad going to meet, oh God, what was her name? Billy Smart's daughter, who used to run Billy Smart's circus. I can't remember her name. And their PA had broken, so Dad went and he had his own PA, so he set his PA up and repaired theirs. And what was her name? Can't remember, but I remember Dad being quite taken by her. She wore sort of riding boots, like, you know, a horseback sort of thing. I think Dad found that a bit kinky in the late 60s, 1970s. What was her name? Wasn't Jasmine Smart? I can't remember. But, yeah, Dad was quite taken with young Mrs. Smart at Billy Smart Circus. Alarm stories. Stories of life on the road with the alarm. Irrepeatable, most of them. Actually, genuinely repeatable. We've pretty well behaved, largely. Most of us. And, yeah, I've done some alarm stories here. And I do alarm stories when I'm doing The Gathering live in Llandudno. And I do alarm stories when I'm out on tour with the alarm. I did 12 weeks on tour with the alarm, 8 weeks on tour with the alarm in America last year. And we did this sort of meet and greet, the Alarm Sigma experience before the show, where Mike and I told stories about the origins of the songs for an hour together. Yeah, maybe I could tell a couple of those. Okay, right. Probably time to start wrapping it up. Thank you very much. I'm going to finish with a song. Going to finish with a sad song. Really sad song. Although Violet says that this isn't necessarily a sad song. This is a song about a stalker. Oh, hang on. Come back, computer. Hang on. Get the page sorted out. She says it's a song about a stalker. As is Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran. What line is it specifically in that bugs you?
All of it.
All of it, really?
Just
Listen to it, okay. Right. Hungry Like the Wolf is a song about a man pestering a woman. Or a number of women, possibly. I don't know. I don't know the lyrics to that song that well. But I'm going to finish with another lovely song. A genuinely sad song. Which I think it makes us all happy to sing this song. Something about this song, there's a joy in sadness. We Welsh are very good at that. And when I start the song, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, if I'm clever, I can auto scroll this. And let's see how this goes. Hang on, queuing it up so it scrolls about right. Okay. I'm filling for time now when it scrolls. Here we go. Sylvia's mother says Sylvia's busy, too busy to come to the phone. Sylvia's mother says Sylvia's trying to start a new life of her own. Sylvia's mother says Sylvia's happy. Why don't you leave her alone? And the operator says 40 cents more for the next 3 minutes. Please, Mrs. Avery, I've just gotta talk to her. I'll only keep her a while. Please, Mrs. Avery, I just want to tell her goodbye. He's definitely a stalker, isn't he? Sylvia's mother says Sylvia's packing. She's going to be leaving today. Sylvia's mother says Sylvia's marrying a fellow down Gateshead Way. Sylvia's mother says, please don't say nothing to make her start crying and stay. And the operator says 40 cents more for the next 3 minutes. Please, Mrs. Head, I've just gotta talk to her. I'll only keep her a while. Please, Mrs. Avery, I just want to tell her goodbye. Sylvia's mother says Sylvia's hurrying. She's catching the 9 o'clock train. Sylvia's mother says, take your umbrella, 'cause Sylvia's starting to rain. Sylvia's mother says, thank you for calling, and sir, won't you call back again? Now, what's the deal here? Is she being polite, or is she, I don't know, is she alone, fancying this guy herself? Who knows? And the operator says 40 cents more for the next 3 minutes. Please, Mrs. Heathcote, I've gotta talk to her. I'll only keep her a while. Please, Mrs. Avery, just want to tell her goodbye. Tell her goodbye. Tell her goodbye. Changed a couple of the lyrics there. A couple of personal references to get a wry smile, I hope. You've been watching Gareth Shows Live. Thank you very much indeed. It's hot in here today. We had the heating on because Tycho is not very well, our older son. We've got extra lighting up to try and balance the lighting, and that's heating me up. I've had an absolute blast. Let's have a look what you guys are saying. Yes. I'm saying no more. couple of you there got the personal references in that song. Good. Yes, other feminist analysis of popular songs are available, as Violet Berlin says. If you've got songs you'd like me to perform or have a go at destroying or analysing, send them to me. You know my email address. It's Gareth at... in fact, no, it isn't. It's mail@garethjones.tv. Mail@garethjones.tv. Yeah, go to my website and you click on a communication link there. You can get a message to us. Please spread the word. Share this link. Tell people that they can watch these show again on YouTube. They're all available there. Spread it via social media. The more, the merrier. And I love having you guys joining me on a Friday night. It's actually, there goes my pop filter again. Even better than going out and socialising. Won't stay on. Hold on. That's it. You're watching a very long episode of Gareth Jones Live with fewer technical issues than we've had before. It's goodbye from Violet. You going to say goodbye, V?
Bye.
Very quiet goodbye. And it's goodbye from me. I shall leave you with the traditional freeze frame. See you guys. And thank you. Oh, I forgot the special guest. Hang on. I forgot the special guest. Should we save it for next week? We'll save the special guest for next week. You're going to love this. See ya next week. I'm still here.